What's up? It's me, Mellow Beach. Duh, the fuck? You see me? Mellow, aka the Groovy Goddess, aka Aphrodite Jones, aka the Black Art Babe. And we here for another video, obviously, because the I think we're gonna pick up where we left off in the last video, which was spirituality for beginners. And I just want to be clear, like, the reason why I quote spirituality is because it's become such a, like, at this point, it's, like, trendy to, like, use the word spirituality or spiritual and to be spiritual. Because in hindsight, everybody has a spirit. Everybody is spiritual. It's just there are a group of people that take the initiative to walk down the path of enlightenment and, like, they choose to be spiritually in tune. And then there's a group of people who still decide to walk the other path. So, like I said, in hindsight, everybody is a spiritual being. Some people just choose to align. That's all. So, and also, like, I realized, like, the last video, the end of that shit, like, I was really trying to get the message together or continue the video, but I realized since that video that, like, once I go blank, that literally just means the universe or spirit sources, like, okay, time to move on to the next message. Like, that's why I couldn't, I was just like, like, that's why, because it was just time to move on. So, really, like, I did right. Like, I ended the hoe, but it's just, I look goofy as fuck. But it's okay. That is alright, because, yeah, weird the fuck. So, I really don't think I got too much else to really go on as far as spirituality for beginners. But I feel like we do need to kind of hit on that shadow work just a little bit more, because I feel like this is where everybody kind of stuck it. But before I do that, before we do that, I'm about to hit these hoes just one time. Just hold up. Just at the mood right, you know. Yeah, okay. How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? That's good. That's good. Okay, so spirituality for beginners, part 2. Spirit, just speak through me. Speak through me, ancestors, speak through me. Y'all got permission, because I want to just be a vessel and deliver the message. So let's pick up where we left off in the last video. And so it is. I say thank you. I'm not sure why I didn't pray beforehand, but obviously I had to do it because that just came out. So let's get back to this shadow self, because I remember, like, the last ended up to the ending. Leading up to the end of that last video, I remember talking about shadow self and, like, how not addressing the shit within is, like, not being spiritual, not integrating your shadow self with your light self is not being spiritual. Let's hit on it, because, well, first off, I ain't gonna say get irritated by, but it's just something that made me, like, is, like I said, I've been seeing spirituality kind of being taken as a trend. And it is nothing trendy about following the path of enlightenment and being in tune. Let me tell you, it's nothing trendy. I mean, it can be fun, but it's like, really, it's nothing fun about this shit. It's nothing fun about breaking cycles and dark nights of the souls and ego deaths and all that shit. Like, it's nothing fun about that. Like, it's nothing fun about being in depressions for months and no. So it's like, what I'm seeing is, like, people just kind of just taking the verbiage of spirituality or the words that's associated with spirituality. People are taking the verbiage and they using it, and, like, they think just because they saying certain words that they spiritual or people gonna recognize them as spiritual. People who are really in tune just gonna see that you just taking words and you don't really have you done the work? That's what I'm asking. Like, that's what I'm concerned about. Because it's like, I know it has to start somewhere. That's what I'm aware of. But I just see a lot of people just seeing words and just taking what other people say and kind of just regurgitating it back on social media. And my concern is, are y'all really doing the work? And I know a lot of y'all are not. So I don't have to ask. Like, are you doing the work? It's like, no, I know you're not doing the work. You're just seeing words. You're seeing people say and do certain stuff. And like I said, you just taking it, regurgitating. You like, hey, I'm spiritual because I meditate, or because I call myself a certain name, or and it's like, no, sis, bro, like you guys to do the work, the spiritual work behind like all this shit, like the internal stuff, like, and like for me personally, this was years in the making. Like I started my journey of enlightenment 7 years ago. 7 years ago, like 7, my nigga, like. So it's just like this. I'm concerned because I know a lot of people are just like, for instance, like I refer to myself as a goddess, and I feel like I've earned the right because I've been doing the work. Like, not to take away from other people or say other people are not doing the work, but I do believe, especially on one specific social platform that I'm on, I feel like most people, some people just kind of take what they see. Specifically, what I say, certain words that I use, they kind of just take it and they run with it. And all I'm saying is just make sure that you're actually doing the work that will reflect you referring to yourself as a goddess or a divine feminine. That's all I'm saying. Like, make sure you're actually out here doing some healing, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you actually, I don't even know what to say other than doing the work, because that's what it is. Like, it's work. Like, it's a fucking job. Like, this is not easy. Like, choosing the path of enlightenment is not some easy ass cakewalk ass fly by night ass, oh, I woke up and now I'm healed and everything's magical. Like, no. Like I said, like, do you know how many ego deaths I've been through? Do you know how many depressions and night of the souls I've had to encounter? Do you know how many times I actually died and came back to this? Like, do you know how many times I've been, you don't know, but it's like you could never know. And like, even if you do decide to take the path of enlightenment and walk down that shit, only you'll know what your journey would be like. But it's like, I don't want a lot of y'all just talking the talk. Like, I need y'all to walk this shit. So it's like, when the universe, when spirit and source is sending you the messages and the signs and the shit that you need to work on, while y'all on Facebook and Instagram claiming to be this and to be that, make sure when the universe is throwing that shit at you, make sure you're willing to be up for the challenge. Make sure when spirits say, all right, so since you this, since you a king, since you a queen, since you a goddess, since you a divine feminine, since you this and you that, let's see. Let's put you up to the test. Let's put you up to the challenge. Because what I've learned, and I mean, like, it makes sense, but it's just, I had to be said to me for me to understand it. Like, you can go back to sleep, for one, but also the journey of enlightenment, it's that journey. It's levels. I'm talking about levels. Like, you vibrate higher and higher as you go. So it's like, you hit one level, you can't be like, oh, I'm done, I'm good. Like, I'm in the dough, you know what I'm saying? I didn't meditate about 7 times this week type shit. Like, I'm good. I didn't pray all year. Like, no, like, it's levels. Like, every time you think you done broke through another door, spirit like, alright, I'm about to give you one more, and then things gonna be good. Like this, the cycles, the journeys, the levels. Like, I literally look at this shit as like a Mario game or something, and like like climbing the levels, like getting the coins and like going up, like going up the fucking ladder. But like I said, I'm gonna emphasize that, like, please don't just see stuff on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and be like, ooh, I'ma claim this, I'ma call myself this, or I'ma do this a couple times and think you done made it. No, it's not how it works. That's not how it works. And then you like, why ain't my spirituality working? Because you ain't really did. I mean, like, you did something, but it's like, you gotta keep going. Like, it don't stop. But as I was saying, like, I realized that you can go back to sleep. At first, I didn't think that was possible. I'm not sure why I thought that, but I thought, like, it wasn't no turning back. Like, once you decide to take that choice, like, everybody, I was watching a video the other day, and she said something along the lines of, well, she was referring to her and the collective specifically that she was talking to. But she said something along the lines of, like, we are the chosen ones. And not because God chose us, because God chose us all to be here during this time. But we are the chosen ones because we chose 11:11. We chose this path of enlightenment, whereas most people didn't or don't. So I said all that to say, you can go back to sleep. Like, you can get to a point in your journey where you be like, all right, I'm good, and then you start rejecting the signs and the opportunities, the invitations of elevation and growth and interpersonal development and all this stuff. Like, you can go back to sleep, and that shit scares me. And like, I'm never trying to go back to sleep, but it's like, it's very tempting. And it's like, at some point I was asking myself, like, how the fuck do people just walk around in oblivion and just act like all the stuff that's going on in the world ain't going on? But I did realize that there is a sense of, like, comfort and content in being oblivion and, like, not being so fucking aware and observant to everything that's going on in the world. Because, like, me personally, being a Cancer, being a woman, being an empath, being a psychic, being clairvoyant, clairaudient, all of them joints, whatever the fuck they are. Like, I'm just not learning all of the names, the proper terms. But it's like being as highly sensitive. Oh, and I'm a highly sensitive person. So it's being as highly sensitive as I am. Highly sensitive, nigga. Like, what the fuck was I saying? Being as highly sensitive as I am, it is tempting sometimes to be like, you know what? I don't want to accept no more. I don't want to go no further. Like, I'm good. Like, this too much. Like, the emotions and everything is a little heavy. I don't want to keep doing this. Like, it's very tempting because shit gets rough. It gets rough. You feel me? Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it gets rough. But I feel like, I mean, and of course, I'm not fully ascended. Like, I'm not at Christ conscious, pinnacle yet. Keywords on yet, meaning I'm getting there. But like, I'm still elevating every day, leveling up every day, vibrating higher every day. So it's like, okay, we're gonna move on from that. But yeah, spirituality is not a trend. And as bad as these little white girls wanting to be, it's real deep history, heritage, DNA, culture in this spirituality type of vibe in it. For us specifically, for these brown earth people of the land and the sand, the aboriginal skin folks, for us, that shit is in us. literally in our DNA, born into us. They kept you from remembering who the fuck you are. And the more you just go through life being programmed, the more you forget who you are and how powerful you are, and all the codes and access points that you have, all the hacks that you have to life. They make you forget this shit because of how powerful you are. But it's like spirituality is not some shit for the gram. It's not for social media, for platform, social media or social platform. Even though that's where its popularity has grown the most and has gotten more people curious, but it's like this shit is really deeper, and it's like for my people, I really need you to understand it. Like this shit is not for play. It's not a joke, you know what I'm saying? Especially like now, some of y'all niggas just want to hop in, feed motherfucking first, and just be like, alright, fuck everything else. I just want to do spell works and put shit on people and bring money in. It's like, okay, it's cool. Like, it's cool to like try to attract some money. You know, that is your birthright to be abundant and prosperous. But like I said, it's levels to this shit. So just think about it in the sense of, you ain't heard from your homeboy in like 5 years. And then the first time y'all link up, your homeboy like, can I get some money and like a new car? And can you like help me out with my baby mama situation or my baby daddy situation? You gonna be like, what the fuck? That's how your ancestors are. That's how your spiritual team is. Cause they're like, bitch, I ain't heard from you since you was like a kid. So how you just gonna pull up asking for stuff, trying to manifest and have me doing all this work on my side of the rim for you when I'm just not hearing from you? Like this I feel like that's how your ancestors or our ancestors, spiritual team, all that, that's how they be feeling when you just try to jump, skip, hop steps. One thing I know about this spirituality shit is like you can't skip nothing. Like even if you under the impression, even if you think, oh, I'm about to skip a step, universe be like, nah. They'll snatch you back and show you you're not about to skip anything. Like you about to go through these lessons, especially if you constantly saying you want what you want. And if what you want is really in true alignment with you and your higher self, if you want it, you gon' have to go through this shit. Like it's no way around. Like you're not skipping any processes, boo. You're not. This is not FedEx. You're not skipping shit. I think that. So yeah. So let's hit on that shadow self just one more time. Emphasizing the last video, if you're not working with the parts of you that you don't like, the parts of you that you feel like is your darker side, you ain't choking, you ain't smoking at it. So the shadow self, first off, I just want to say I think sis gets a bad rep. The shadow self, like, because your shadow self, I mean, I guess it just depends on who you are and how dark and deep your shadow is, like. But the shadow self isn't really just, in my opinion, just a negative thing, or it's not just this terrible thing, like, because when I think about my shadow self, I just think about, I mean, of course, it's parts of me, pieces of me that I don't like, pieces of me that I feel like doesn't serve me and my highest good or the people around me. So there are pieces of me throughout the years and now that I'm shedding, you know what I'm saying, taking this baggage up off me so I can continue to elevate and be better. But the realization that some parts are just me. That's just who I am. And so instead of trying to say, hey, no, you can't be a part of this, like you can't sit with us, which is me telling my shadow stuff, like, no, bitch, you're not good enough to be around because you're too dark and you're too evil. No, that's not okay. Like, because my shadow self is still part of me. And my shadow self really didn't save me for some shit. My shadow self she with the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, anything light self can't say it won't do, shadow self on your ass. She on your ass. Like, she gonna do it. She gonna say it. She gonna speak up type shit. So it's very important to, like, first learn who your shadow self is and then accept that person for who they are and integrate the two. See how they can work with each other and manage. Have self-awareness, check in with yourself. Last video, don't even give them the space, time, opportunities to check you. Check yourself. Check in with yourself. Like, oh wait, I just had an idea, like doing like I feel like the collective, they mama had to do this shit too. I feel like the collective, like I feel like we need to, at the end of the day, kind of reflect on the day and reflect on our contribution, our energy, and what we put out into the universe. And so I feel like maybe like a little prompt or something every day, asking ourselves, like, I don't know, like, what did I do to make the world better today? Like, what type of energy did I intentionally put out into the world? Like, how did I set myself up for, I don't want to say greatness, it sounds cliche as fuck, but I guess, how did I set myself up to continue to attract love and abundance in my life? Like, did I express gratitude today? Did I say thank you enough today? Did I show people that I care about them? Did I tell people that I love them? Was I kind today? Was I generous today? Like, I feel like doing that will help. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that too. That is a good idea though. Yeah. I find myself, because that was a good idea. It's similar to my little gratitude box that I have, that I don't write in every morning like I should, or at least every other morning, but I just have a little box that says gratitude, and basically you just supposed to write the things that you are grateful for that day and put it inside the box. And then, you know, there are moments where you feel like you just in this lack, this sense of lack, go back and look at the box and look at the stuff that you was grateful for, and like be like, damn. Because like I learned, like, the key to this shit, like the hack of all hacks of manifesting and attracting and all that stuff, is expressing gratitude. Like, being grateful for everything that you got, even if you feel like you ain't got shit. Like, that's false. Like, you do have something, so you have to figure out what it is that you got. And instead of telling yourself like what it is, like, oh, I ain't got shit, like, okay, I just confused myself saying it. But I know how sometimes us as humans, we can be ungrateful and we can kind of be blind to the shit that we got, and we be kind of like, be like, oh, I ain't got shit. Meanwhile, like, you got a whole car, you got an apartment or something. Like, you might not be in a relationship, but you got people around you that love you and support you. Even if you ain't got as many as you want, you got one or two people that fuck with you. And it's like, it's people out there that don't have nothing that I just claimed, nothing that I just said, nothing, none of it. Don't have a car, a house, an apartment, a pot of piece in, as they say. They don't have a friend, a family member that give a fuck about them. So shit like that, and we be like, damn, don't nobody fuck with me, blah, life, blah, blah, this, and that. It's like, those are moments where we gotta look at what we do have and express gratitude and say thank you for that shit. And that's how we attract more of the things that we want, more of the things that we need, long as it's in alignment with our higher self, for our goodness and gracious, you know. Like, long as it's in alignment, like, expressing gratitude is the quickest way, is the easiest way to invite all of the rest of the abundance and prosperity and just everything that you need in. Like, yeah. So I think I'm done. Yeah. Yeah, because I ain't gonna say I went blank, but it did, like, it got quiet in there. So I feel like this spirit way once again telling me like, okay, it's time to move on to the next message. So I don't know if some of what I said was, it probably was just a smidget repetitive, but hopefully I did hit on like different things in the last video. I know it wasn't like too many different like bullet points or topics and no shit, but my brain, I gotta try to stay on the straight and narrow, cause all the tabs open in there. It's just, yeah, I'm a straight away very easily. But yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I'm gonna just keep making videos until I get better, and then hopefully I can learn how to edit these hoes, and like they won't be so long, and they'll be, I don't know, they'll like flow a little bit more. I don't know, we gonna see. Fuck it, who cares? Yellow bitch. Bye.